Oh my goodness, it doesn't have a quantity. Hi guys, Marian here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new video where I'm going to be attempting to make my grandmother's Knedilach. What are Knedilach? Well, they're sort of like matzo balls. Some would even use the term interchangeably, but not me, because my grandmother's Knedilach were totally a different consistency and taste than what you would find if you went to a deli in America and ordered matzo ball soup. So these Knedilach are more in the zone of like a dumpling, a bit chewier, denser, and in my opinion, a lot more delicious. So these are my grandmother's famous Knedilach, and I'm gonna be attempting to make them here for you. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Marian, and I make videos about being a mom and being a Jewish mom, and I would love for you to stick around and be one of my subscribers. Just hit that red button down below, and if you wanna follow my everyday life as a Jewish mom, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. So matzo ball soup is obviously one of the most traditional Ashkenazi Jewish recipes. So Ashkenazi Jews are Jewish families that came from Europe, and a lot of the Jewish traditional recipes are very much tied into European culture from around like 1800s, 1900s, and there's a lot of similarities in the food. Most all of my family came from Lithuania before they moved to South Africa, and thankfully a lot of my family were able to emigrate to South Africa after World War I and before World War II. In their time in South Africa, some of my family's traditional recipes were also influenced by South African culture. And this recipe that I'm going to attempt to make today is actually from my grandmother's cookbook, which was then passed down to my mom, which is then passed down to me. It's called the New International Goodwill Recipe Book. I don't know if any of you will have heard of this or seen this before. It looks like this inside. Not too exciting on the inside, but it's full of recipes that I grew up with. And this is actually a newer version of the book. If you can see, it doesn't look that old, but my mom's version of this recipe book, like, you can hardly turn the pages anymore. But it definitely has some amazing traditional recipes in it. If I can find the link for it, I'll put a link down below. Okay, so Knedilach, let's jump in. It's actually a really simple recipe. I have not attempted this before, but I think it's gonna be good. All you need is matzo meal, 2 eggs, and shmaltz. So what is shmaltz? Well, I just made it and I'm gonna show you guys how. So let me flash back to how I made the shmaltz. So here is my shmaltz making setup. I've got my pot, I've got my chicken, which I'm going to take the skin off of, a carrot, an onion, and then I'm going to put in a little bit of garlic and some soup seasoning mix. This is my favorite one. The brand is Ozem. They're Israeli. Highly recommend. Okay, let's get shmaltz in. To start off, you just want to boil the chicken with the other flavorings, like the carrot and the onion. And by the way, if you have a specific flavor profile that you like, you can of course spice this up however you like. I added the soup mix and the garlic, but if there's flavors that you love, you can add it too. And then the recipe said to just use the chicken skins, but if you can see me struggling, like look at my eyebrows right now, I could not get the chicken skins off. Obviously there's a better way than I was trying, but I just used the whole chicken, and it actually worked out great because then we ended up eating this chicken after, and it was so good. So basically you let it boil, and then you add in vegetable fat like shortening, and then let it fry, and then you skim off the fat or pour it out like I'm doing. The original recipe said to use a really thin strainer because you just want to get like the golden bits of the fat, not any of the chicken and vegetables. But like I said, I took the chicken off of this. Like, I know it doesn't look that appetizing right now, but I took the chicken off and we snacked on it, and it was so good. And then the last thing I did was just take out all the little bits, put them in the strainer, and let the rest of the fat just strain out. And the first element of this recipe is to beat the eggs, but I'm going to use the mixer because I don't even have hand beaters. I don't think. I always just use my KitchenAid. So hopefully that will be okay. Oh, but I am using the homemade traditional shmaltz, so I think I can get some extra credit points for that. Okay, so the first thing I have to do in the recipe is beat 2 eggs together. Okay, I changed my mind about using this attachment. I think I need the actual beater's attachment, so stand by. Okay, so the eggs are beaten, and next I'm going to add the fat, which is 2 tablespoons of the schmaltz. So this, by the way, smells so good. I know it's kind of a less than appetizing concept, but I actually tasted the chicken that came out of that was used to make the schmaltz, and it was amazing. Okay, let's mix this. And as that's mixing, I'm going to use salt and pepper. I mention these salt and pepper shakers all the time because they are life-changing. They're automatic or like gravity, battery. You'll see how they work. I'm going to link them below because I love them. Okay, then the last thing I have to do is add in the matzo meal, and this recipe calls for, oh my goodness, it doesn't have a quantity. Oh my goodness, there's literally not a quantity listed here. Okay, we're gonna have to eyeball it, guys. That I'm gonna have to call my mother. It also says to mix it in gradually, so I'm gonna switch back to my other attachment and start mixing it in, and then I'll kind of have to eyeball it. I definitely have seen this made before, like by my mom and grandma, and tasted it, so I think we should be okay. Let's see. I'm going to stop there. Consistency wise, I want them to be able to hold together because I'm going to boil them next. Okay, I think I nailed this consistency. We'll see. They're definitely sticking together totally fine. If you can see, the bowl has nothing like sticking to it anymore, but it's also not crumbly in any way. Like there's not like matzo meal dust. Okay, then next thing, all we have to do is form them into the balls. So Knedilach are much smaller than what you'll see in like, if you go to a deli and order a matzo ball, it could be like this big or like as big as the whole bowl. But the Knedilach that I grew up with were not like that at all. And if these are feeling a touch dry to me, if they start to get a touch dry, what I might do is just put a little bit more of the shmaltz like on my hands to help form the balls, just so they stick together and don't fall apart in the water. So I'm almost done rolling the Knedilach into balls. If you look closely, they're not perfect because they're absolutely homemade, and that is really the key. I think it's almost better that they don't look uniform and like perfectly like from a restaurant, you know. So I'm very happy with these so far, and they actually smell really good because of that schmaltz. Just carries so much flavor with it. It truly is like a liquid gold. So for the soup, I'm going to use my big soup pot behind me, and all I'm going to do for the water is just add some consommé to it, which is this. This is from the brand Ozem. It's just a soup and seasoning mix. So I'm just gonna season the water and boil these up, and then it'll be time to eat them. Okay, so my soup is all done and ready to go, and I have a taste tester here with me. This is Corey. Here, I cut a small piece right there. And try that piece. Well, that's just the soup, silly. Here, try a piece of the Knedilach.
No.
Oh, you do it, you do it. How is it?
Good.
Good, you heard it here.
I need that towel.
A towel, yeah, it's getting messy here, huh? Knedilach. All right, I'm gonna do the taste test for you guys with the other little piece. Oh, okay. It is so good. So good. It's actually a little peppery. I think I might have put in a tad too much pepper, but I don't know, it's really good. So for Knedilach, you could definitely just have it like this with just a little soup mix, or you can make a whole chicken soup to go with it. Want me to cut it for you? Okay, so I'm gonna let Corey finish eating this Knedilach soup that he's enjoying so much. You like it? I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up to let me know. And if you're interested, I can try cooking more of my grandmother's recipes. So let me know what you guys like and want to see. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!